into this mix.
Hey everyone, what's up? This is Derrick Broze with the Conscious Resistance Network, Activist Post, and theantimedia.org. I have a very exciting announcement to make. You've already heard by now about the upcoming Conscious Resistance Tour. We're going to be taking a trip all across the U.S., first starting in Texas in June, and then going west coast, going northwest, cutting across the middle of the U.S., and then heading down back south. Then in October, we'll be hitting the East Coast. So several tours coming across the U.S. this summer and this fall. But one of the main reasons I'm going to be hitting the streets and hitting the road is to promote not only the concept of freedom cells, freedomcells.org, but also the release of my next book and the final book in the Conscious Resistance trilogy that was started by myself and activist author John Vibes, who also writes for the Free Thought Project. John and I released the first book, Book 1, Reflections on Anarchy and Spirituality, in 2015 at the Free Your Mind conference in Philadelphia. We released book number 2, Finding Freedom in an Age of Confusion, last April, and we are going to release the final book, Book 3, this coming April at the Free Your Mind conference once again. And the book will be available April 7th for download. We're going to put it in audiobook, and it'll also be available to purchase through CreateSpace and through Amazon.com. And if you're in Houston, you can get it from me directly. The book title will be Manifesto of the Free Humans. So the first book is Reflections on Anarchy and Spirituality. The second one is Finding Freedom in an Age of Confusion. And this third book is Manifesto of the Free Humans. Together they make up the Conscious Resistance series. The third book, Manifesto, will focus more specifically on the ideas that we've discussed in brief in the first two books. So what this means is that John and I will be discussing agorism, counter-economics, which is our solution, the solution that we believe in. We'll be discussing the history of the agorist ideas in much more detail than we have in the other two books. And we'll be expanding upon those ideas that were presented by Samuel Konkin and discussing vertical and horizontal agorism, discussing freedom cells, giving you guys some practical ways that you can create freedom cells in your community and can start creating freedom in your life and contributing to the counter economy and basically the breakdown of the state and the push towards a free society, a stateless society. So we're going to explore those concepts in depth. We also finally stake our philosophical positions. In the first two books, John and I, we definitely were what you could call maybe wishy-washy, sort of on the fence about some topics. We touched on certain areas and said, well, maybe some people think this way, maybe some people think other ways. But at this point, we're ready to say where we stand. We have some great work. One of the chapters is called Panarchist Experiments, Can Propertarians and Non-Propertarians Coexist?, where we just spent time creating thought experiments and trying to see, based on our beliefs and our interpretation of libertarianism that predates modern American libertarianism, but goes back to the 19th century and the individualist American anarchists, which is where John and I believe that our work picks up off of. We look at these ideas and decide how can we have coexistence among many peoples with different ideas. We also talk about the environment, stewardship of the earth, and lay out our ideas on how community can take care of the environment without government. And we also have some discussions on the authoritarian right and left. That chapter looks at the alt-right and the regressive lefts, SJWs, and this push towards more extremism on both sides. That chapter has just been released officially today on theconsciousresistance.com. I'll put that link below, but if you go to theconsciousresistance.com, you'll see it there under the title, The Authoritarian Right and Left, and we're extremely excited about that. Also, if you sign up for Patreon to support me on a monthly basis, patreon.com/Derrick Broze, you can get exclusive looks at the book before anybody else. The past 3 weeks, I've released the first 3 chapters of the book. I'm reading them in audio format and providing that to my monthly Patreon supporters. Whether you support me as a $1 or $5 or whatever, you get access to that, and I'm doing that on a weekly basis leading up to the release of the book. So by the time the book comes out on April 7th, you will have already heard the first 13 chapters out of 15 before anybody else for supporting me and my efforts. So thank you guys for all the time you've given me over the last 4 or 5 years on the Conscious Resistance, and those who maybe even followed me before that. I very much appreciate it. I think that this book, Manifesto of the Free Humans, is the culmination of all the ideas and all the research that I've been doing, and is going to be a very big part of this tour and what I focus my energy and my motivations, my intentions on over the next 2 years. Building freedom cells, creating counter-economic activity. This book, we believe, is a guide on how to do that. So please check it out. Look forward to that. And stay tuned to the Conscious Resistance Network for more information. Thank you guys for listening. Remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, you are free. Peace.